experienced. One of the evidences that the paper uses is the duality of the characters. Characters look the same both in Oz and in the real world, which is very interesting. And I think that that is a very good argument in saying that the world of Oz is in the imagination, because when we imagine something, when we imagine someone, it most likely has a good basis on reality. Now, there is a pretty big flaw in this theory that it's all imagination, and that's Ozma. Ozma is a problem because Ozma helps Dorothy in the real world and in Oz. However, when I looked back at the movie, Ozma doesn't really interact with any of the characters in the real world. He does interact with physical objects, and for example, falls into the river with Dorothy and whatever, but no other characters notice her existence. And even when she goes missing, when she falls into the river, I thought that the other characters were going to make a statement about finding her, but no, she wasn't looked for, she wasn't reported to be found or still missing, which leads me to think that Ozma never really existed in the hospital either. I did find a very interesting paper that was published in the 1990s, which was basically criticizing the film because it was making a negative statement about mentally ill people. The paper said, "It is our contention that psychiatric patients are in especially vulnerable position, including the already negative image of ECT in the public mind, and that any such damaged criteria should be merely withdrawn on request. The Manic Depressive Association, together with its sister groups across the English-speaking world, is requesting the support of the medical and in particular the psychiatric profession in having Disney withdraw the film or at least replace the opening sequence." In the 1980s, these electrical-based experiments were still being researched on it and were actually used to cure some diseases. And these medics did not like that Disney was using these electric machines as something bad, as something harmful, something that could delay imagination or creativity. They did not like that, and they wanted Disney to take that down, which I found interesting. So I want to conclude saying that I do think that the world of Oz is not real, it's just made up by Dorothy, but really do think that it shouldn't go as far as to being sent to a mental institute. I think that it's a normal childish thing to imagine things out of a bad situation and just cope with in that way. And honestly, this whole thing of Dorothy creating this imaginary world to cope with the natural disasters is similar to experience I had, which when I was little, Puerto Rico went through Hurricane Maria, and that was a very devastating Category 5 hurricane. Destroyed a lot of homes and killed a lot of people. And as a kid passing through it, and the way that I did it was just playing around and just using my imagination. So anyways, that's gonna be all for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.